Welcome to Tech Artist. So if you have a Mac Mini or a PC, then I'd like to show you some very cool accessories that I have found for the Mac Mini especially, but they actually work for Windows as well. So if you're a creator, then here's some very interesting things that you might want to add to your workflow or to your workstation, just because they make it easier, give you more storage, and give you some, cool things. Let me explain.
Looking for a cheap way to license your Windows? Check out Qwiizlab through the links in the video description. Make sure to use the code TN20 to get a 30% off. Paste the license to the activation settings and you're all done. This license is for Windows 10, but you can upgrade it to Windows 11 for free. They also offer Microsoft Office 19 license. Use the same code TN20 to get a 30% off. Check out Qwiizlab.com in the video description below.
So I want to start with this guy over here. This is the Rode NT1 5th generation. And you might be wondering, why on earth is this important microphone here? And it's because this mic can record a 32-bit float, which starts to be the industry standard, which basically is a raw audio. But that's not just that. This microphone underneath there has an XLR and USB-C output, which means that you can connect this microphone either directly to your sound card if you have XLR inputs, but also to the Mac, what I have here. As you can see, there's a USB-C port in the back here, and I'm actually recording this audio right now on GarageBand here, as you can see. And you've probably known Rode for many years, which has produced these microphones, and this is the 5th generation now. Now, I was actually surprised how affordable this microphone is. So if you're looking for something affordable, perhaps to get started with music production or recording yourself, whether it's audio or instruments, or just as a very, very expensive, very high quality webcam, then you can completely do that. Or with your live stream, something like that, this microphone can do that through USB-C or XLR. I'll leave the link in the description below if you want to check that out.
But there's some other very cool things. Firstly, I want to talk about this here. So this is the Qwiizlab USB-C docking station for Mac or Mac Mini, and it also has some interesting things going on here. If we are looking at the inputs here, you can see one USB-C. This is 10 gigabits input. You've got micro SD card reader and then SD card reader, which is good if you're wanting to make your Mac Mini into a Mac Studio that can also read SD cards. Then you've got 3 USB ports here. One here is 10 gigabits in speed, and then these two are 5 gigabits in speed. And then in the back, you have 2 ports. These USB-C ports go to the Mac Mini, so you're going to lose 2 connectors on your Mac Mini, but you're going to gain a display port and an HDMI port as well. So if you want to connect to like monitors that don't have that many HDMI ports as this Mac Mini will have, then these will come very, very helpful. But that's not just all. If we look underneath there, there is a little latch here. Now there are screws that come in the box, but I've left them out because it will just save me time. And there is 2 enclosure for SSDs. One here is the M.2 slot, and then you've got a 2.5-inch like SATA connector there. So I've got this Kingston A400 SSD there. This is a 2 terabyte one, and these 2.5-inch form factors, they are going very, very cheap these days. All you have to do is like pop that one in there. There's some fixings and things on the actual box, but I'm not going to use them, just to show you how simple this is. And then for the M.2, I'm using this Lexar NM790, which is quite an affordable drive these days, Gen 4 drive, but this is a little bit of an overkill drive. Boom, pop it in, and then put this little rubber grommet or little fixing on there, and then you can pop it into there, and then your M.2 is installed. Now, the only downside I can see about this here is that the NVMe SSDs often get a bit hot. And if you look at this, how far this goes down here, then there isn't much space for the NVMe to have a heatsink. So if you have something the likes of this with a heatsink, or even some of the Slim's heatsinks, they're not gonna fit in there at all. As you can see, I'm even struggling to push this down because it has the heatsink on the bottom as well, and it really is meant to just lay down flat on this here. So if you have a heatsink NVMe, it doesn't really work in here. Once you've got your NVMe installed, I recommend going with something further like lower end, because the maximum sequential read and write speeds obviously are capped by the 10 gigabit connector that you have for your Mac. But if you want a higher end like Gen 4 drive, you will gain the random read and write speeds. For example, if you want to use this Solidigm P44 Pro or something like that, that has a very good random read and write speeds, then this can go in there. Once you have this in there, you plug in these two cables that come with the device. You slot this underneath there, so your Mac Mini will go on top there, or you can put it on the top of the Mac Mini as well, whichever way you want. Perhaps on the top looks a little bit slicker. And then these two you'll have to connect to the Thunderbolt ports in the back or USB. Mine is the M2 Pro model here, which means that I have 4 Thunderbolt 4 ports in the back. And then once you have this there, now you might want to put some weight onto it and get these cables bent a little bit, because if you have it on the top it will slide all the way around. So having it underneath will probably be a better idea, because then the weight of the Mac Mini will hold it down. Now there is not a lot of elevation on these sticks there. As you can see, the Mac Mini will elevate much more, but as you can see, I plugged that one in and I've already got my Kingston A440 and the Lexar NM790 here installed or plugged in, and they work. Now I think they are read only because I've got a wrong format for them. They're Windows format. So whenever plugging in these SSDs over there, make sure that you format them to your required format, whether it's MacJournaled or exFAT or something like that. But as you can see, this device increases your ports for the Mac Mini, which is the main point for this. It's not that expensive as well, and if you have a lot of SD cards, for example, if you plug that one in, boom, as you can see, it just appeared in here. And now we can read what's on that SD card. It's sticking out a nice amount, so it's easy to grab hold of them and put them back in there. It adds quite a bit. Now, I don't think this one will work with your Windows PC. I think this is designed more for Mac, but it's a very good budget alternative. Now, if you do want to expand storage on your Mac, because the internal SSDs you might have known are very, very expensive, then I highly recommend you check out my Mac storage guide, and there I explain a few more different ways how you can do that a bit cheaper, and then actually with a much longer warranty that Apple provides you as well. The other thing I want to talk about is this guy over here. So this is a workstation, kind of a ingest station or whatever. Now I've made one before about the Kingston one. There's a Kingston one there, but I think this one here is one step higher and is a little bit better than the Kingston one, and is a bit easier to use as well. So first of all, there's all sorts of card readers in here, as you can see. There's 4. This one, you can also configure which ones you like. Maybe you want more SD card readers or CF Express card readers or more USB-C type A ports, then you can have them and mix and match them. If you press this button on the top there, okay, then that will release the lock, and you can actually release each one of these cartridges separately. And if you look underneath each of these cards, they're all Type-C ports, which means that you can take them on the go and leave this one on your desk completely. So this is all the time on the desk, but when you go out shooting somewhere on your laptop, you can just use this as your SD card or CF Express card reader and then use them on the go. And then when you come back, you can just pop these back in, and now you can use them. This works with Windows and Mac, so regardless which fanboy you are, it's worth checking out. There's some few more interesting things there. This is a CF Express Type B, by the way, not Type A. If you look in the back, there is 2 USB-C ports. And it comes with this one cable, and this is the cable that will connect it to your host device. The top one here says 100 watts and bottom one Type-C. So if you have a device like a PC or a Mac Mini or Mac Studio or Mac Pro or something that you just want to add more card readers, then you just put it into the Type-C and then plug it in the back of your Mac. As you can see, this is already flashing, and we've got DR10L. So we've got one card, I've got a micro SD card in here. It's already working there. And then you can just add, whether it's USB, boom there, or an SD card, boom. That's gonna come up there as well. You can add another SD card there if you wanted to. And then boom, they're all working, turning up there. But The cool thing is, if you're using a laptop, let's say a MacBook Pro or a MacBook Air or something like that, and you come back to the workstation, what you can do is you can just leave your Mac charger all the time plugged into this back 100-watt port. So this will have 100-watt power pass through, which means that now I am delivering power 100 watts back to the Mac Mini. Obviously, this one doesn't need that because the Thunderbolt port will come get the power from there and then turn this kind of a workstation on there. That means that you don't have to plug in power for your laptop. This works for Windows as well. I just tested it with the Asus ZenBook Pro there and then plugged into one of those side Thunderbolt ports, and then boom, my laptop started charging. Obviously, when it's a Windows laptop, it's not charging as fast as the included power brick, depending on your laptop, because that only supports up to 100 watts power delivery, not 200 or 240 or more, whatever your laptop is rated. But if you've got a MacBook, then this 100-watt power delivery is absolutely amazing, because we know if you've got a MacBook, you're not going to lose any performance, whether you're on battery or powered in. But now you just got to plug it in, your laptop's going to charge up, and then when you need to go, you just unplug your laptop, and then you've got a full laptop, and then there we go. There is a light button on there as well, and then this will just turn this light on and off. I'm not sure if you can see that. Yep, this is a random function there, but hey. The only thing that is weird about this device, that when testing this, I couldn't figure out why this is not working. If you have got, so let me just unplug all of these here. As you can see, this light is still on, so I know that, and you can see the DR10L is still on there, so you know that this device is working. If you've got a V90 SD card, like I have here, this is the Lexar V90 128 gigabytes card. When I'm gonna plug this one in here, into this dock, it will not get recognized. It just won't shine up for no reason. And I'm thinking, oh, maybe, this is a random card. If I'm taking a V60 card, like this Lexar card here, so it's not just Lexar apparently, turn in the V60 card, and as you can see, the light is on there, and then we should get this on. Come on, let's read it. See, it reads it when I pull the V90 card out. If I push the V90 card in, boom, the other card turns off as well. So the V90 card doesn't work inside the dock station. But if I'm gonna unplug this and then take this card separately, sometimes when you press the button, I'm struggling to get them off there. I have to properly press it down. I think there's some kind of safety as well, that when you're using this, you're not just able to pull them out, which is nice. When I have just this card reader separately, right? And I've got the V90 card now plugged in, and I plug it directly in the back of this one. Look at that. It's reading it, and boom, there we have it. It's plugged in, it just works. So I thought, okay, maybe this is, maybe it needs extra power to read the V90 card. And I tried it with, let's add extra power to the back of it, connect this to it, and then plug in the V90, absolutely nothing. So for some reason, the V90 doesn't work inside this enclosure, which is a bit of a bummer. And it's not just on Mac, it's the same on Windows. So they've got some kind of issue going on there, and I'm not sure what this is, but it's not working. But anyway, I hope this video inspired you to have a few more ideas how you can use these products to improve your workflow or your creative workstation, whether you're using PC or Mac, especially when you're using the Mac Studios or Mac Minis. Then these will increase the port of your Mac and add a few more extra features. But if you're a PC guy and you're wondering what is the best bang for buck creative PC to build, then there is a link in the description below. Go check it out. There's a video for you. There's 4 video parts, whatever your budget is. I'll explain which parts to get, which downgrades, which upgrades, everything is down there. Go check it out. It's completely free, just for you there to enjoy. Go check it out. Thanks guys for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.